Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Hump Day, Wednesday, December 11th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I'm trusting that you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and hop into it. See what we got going on. See how you can be better prepared to navigate these celestial energies. Well, got that moon in Aries today. It's going to be finishing up there. Sun will move to 20 degrees of Sag, reduce it to a 2. So it's going to be about the moon. It's going to be a little bit more emotional. Good thing is that we have that moon. It's going to be shifting into Taurus, right? So, of course, as soon as it shifts into Taurus, it makes a nice little square over to Pluto. We're not going to be feeling this too much. It's going to only be like for the first, it's going to be around like 11 to 12 Eastern Standard Time, So, this is it's going to like come by and go pretty quickly. So, nothing too crazy there. Like I said, the sun at 20 degrees is going to be a little bit more focused on the moon. 2 plus 0, 2 is the moon. 0 is actually Scorpio. So, this definitely can, maybe you feel like a new emotion or a new way of feeling towards something today, right? But it's like I said, it's not going to be aspecting anything today. I think the main thing, though, with this day is with that moon. Why? Well, as you can see, we have Venus here at 5 degrees of Aquarius. We have Mars over here at 6 degrees of Leo, which means that the moon will indeed square them today. And this will be later on in the evening on Wednesday, at least here on the East Coast, going into Thursday. And we will see this moon actually square Venus and Mars at 5 degrees respectively, thus creating a fixed T-square. Now, this is an interesting energy. Let's talk about it. Remember, Mars is a little bit slowed down. It's much more of our masculine energy, and it's slowed down in Leo. We have to learn how to find the humor in life. We have to learn how to laugh at things and not try and just force the issue with our ego, because there can definitely be some frustrations here and some delays and trying to find our creativity again, trying to find our passion again, right? Venus over there in Aquarius, well, wants to connect, but especially with the opposition to Mars, it's like, oh, I only want to connect if it's in this way. I only want to connect if we have all of the same likes and all the same dislikes. I only want to connect if you placate to my ego even a little bit. That's the weird thing about this, right? Because this is dealing with Mars, right? So the moon is caught between these two energies, right? That are quarreling right now, right? Venus and Mars would prefer to just be together and just chill, right? So that's what they would much rather be. Because that's usually what they do, right? Yes, they oppose each other with Mars ruling Aries traditionally, Venus ruling Libra, but they also rule, Mars rules Scorpio traditionally, and Venus rules Taurus traditionally. So they like being next to each other. They would prefer to be next to each other than opposing each other, right? That's where their power lies. But they're opposing each other. And yes, Mars is in a fire sign, so that should give some firepower. And yes, Venus is an air sign, which it doesn't mind being an air because Libra's air, right? But with this one, like I said, Venus in Aquarius, we don't want to get cold here, especially with Pluto. We don't want to get cold and be like, I only want to connect if we like these certain things or if these certain creative passions line up and these things line up. And like I said, Mars can bring that frustration and that heat being a Leo where it wants to speed up, it wants to keep going, but it's come to this screeching halt and now it is going backwards, right? So with all that in mind, that moon over there in Taurus, wanting us to kind of ground ourselves, wanting us to find our foundation, wanting us to kind of get back to the basics. Because it's very basic, right? Venus over in Aquarius with Pluto there kind of complicates things, right? Aquarius can be a little complicated. It's a little eccentric, right? And Mars over there in Leo, it's not as complicated, right? But it is because it's retrograde. So people are trying to find fun again. They're trying to find their inner child again. They're trying to find how to laugh again, how to smile again. They're trying to find the humor again. Learning that it's okay to actually laugh at things. Learning that it's even okay to laugh at seemingly absurd things. And to laugh at seemingly triggering things. Ooh. So the moon's here trying to find the balance between all this, right? And it's doing this after it just squared Pluto, right? So we are trying to, I think that this is going to be a day about learning how to get emotionally grounded in things, not being overly reactive, and to be solid in our energy, and to not just be whisked away and whisked around by the world. And it's like, we got to go this way, then I got to go that way, got to go this way, then I got to go that way. And it's like about like, well, what about what you want, right? What about what makes you feel good? Like it's very simple, right? You know, it's about your self-worth, obviously, right? It's about your self-confidence. It could be about money, but I think this would really be more so about it's like your self-worth isn't something that is determined. I mean, there's no aspects to like, this is not Capricorn energy, right? So it's not, your happiness isn't based per se on, you know, I guess you could say the dynamic of some of these relationships, or how much money you have in the bank, or your status, or your job. The happiness is something that's going to come from within. That's why Mars and Venus are battling on this day, right? Because Mars just wants it to be the way that they want it to be. They want to push the envelope. They want to have fun and stuff, but it just feels like it just can't quite, feel what it wants to feel. It can't quite express it, can't quite go further. But it's like, now it's about exploring the things. Like, this could be a great time to rekindle old hobbies. This can be a great time to just kind of go back to some of those things, some of the things that, and ask yourself, why did I get into this in the first place? Why did I value this in the first place? That moon squaring over Venus. Why did I value this thing in the first place? Why did I value this passion? Why did I value this creative thing? Why did I maybe find this sort of thing funny? Why did I enjoy this? Why did this thing light me up? Why was this the thing that, like, if I entered in a room and I can just talk about it for hours and just like an excited little kid, why? This moon kind of helps us get back to the basics of that. Square over to Venus. Why do I vibe in this relationship? Right? The relationships in my life, why do I vibe with them? Why do we connect? Or maybe why is there a disconnect? Right? And we have to come back to the basis of it, which is that Taurian energy. The value, the worth, right? Shoot. Taurus is also food, right? So I think that's another part too. Is like, and that's the thing too about it. It's like, Leo's very much so about food. Like, I don't get twisted. Like, Leo can be very much so about food, so it can be Taurus. Aquarius kind of to an extent, right? But there's like an element here too where it's just like, pay attention to the food that you eat. How does the food that you eat make you feel? Pay attention to those sort of things. Like I said, the main thing with this day is this massive fixed T-square that we're getting at 5 degrees. And what is 5? Well, 5 numerologically is Mercurial and Gemini, right? So, like I said, once again, this is coming down to the facts. Not beliefs per se, but the facts. Where's Mercury? Still in Sag at 7 degrees here, right? So I think we can still be caught up in some fantasies here. 7 is more Neptunian energy. But this is about, the facts and what we can see and what's available to us and what is the evidence, right? So we may be looking for evidence today of, the Mars and Leo, our creativity, our passions, what lights our soul on fire. And then that Venus in Aquarius. How do we connect in these relationships? Can they stand the test of time? That's the other part about this. Like, do they stand the test of time? So we're kind of caught between those sort of oscillating energies, and because it's Venus and Mars too, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some weird thing that goes along with just the sexes, like male versus female and stuff. Usually you see stuff like this with Mars and Venus, but you'll especially see it because Mars is retrograde and Pluto is with Venus, and then the moon happens to be squaring it. So there'll probably be some weird thing as far as like male versus female energy or masculine versus feminine energy. But this moon in Taurus is like, how can we integrate the divine masculine and the divine feminine? Right? Because they don't have to. They oppose each other right now, but they're not always opposing each other. They're not always opposing each other. And usually whenever they are opposing each other, that one of them is about to retrograde or is retrograde, another one's about to retrograde. That's the sign for it. So this is about as you know, like I said, Venus will go into Pisces. It's going to retrograde. Mars is going to go into Cancer, right? But it will come forward before Venus does, right? Well, actually, Venus retrogrades for like what, 40 days or so. So it's going to be, we do that. Venus will be in Pisces. By this time, Mars will already be in Cancer. And then Venus is going to go into Aries, right? In February. It would have already, no, it retrogrades in Aries. So by that time, Mars will be back in Cancer. They don't quite square each other, right? And then Mars is going to start to speed up. Venus is moving back into Pisces. And then Venus is going to start to come forward again. So more than likely, it'll be Venus that eventually catches up with Mars because Venus moves faster than Mars, right? So, but then Venus will retrograde before Mars retrogrades again. So that's kind of the interesting thing about it. So, because Venus, is about every 18 months or so. Mars is about every 2 years that we see the retrograde. So Venus will eventually catch up to Mars, which will happen to be in Capricorn in 2026. It's interesting that they're conjunct with the sun too. So just kind of looking forward, I know I'm going like way into the future and stuff like that, but I'm just saying that like with the whole battle, the whole thing between Mars and Venus, stuff like that, whenever they get to the opposition, that's how you know it's going to be the climax. So that we are at a climax point, if you will, right here on this December, right, 11th, 2024. This is the climax point. So we may see something represent this, in a larger scale per se, but this is just going to be like the climactic point. So from here, it's just going to go into the resolution, and then we'll just continue forward and stuff. So, like I said, this is going to be certainly an interesting day, but with that moon in Taurus, definitely can help us to feel a lot better about things, help us to feel a little more grounded. Like I said, the moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's a good spot for it. The moon is feeling good. And even if we look at like the scores themselves, the scores aren't terrible, right? +7, +4, +3, +1, +0, +0, and then -5 with Saturn, because Saturn is just moving entirely too slow. So even Mars is +0. It's not a bad thing. It's neutral. That's the thing. The Mars and the Sun are neutral, right? So that means take this energy and you can make it whatever you want to be. That's kind of the nice thing about it. You can react however you need to react, but you make of it what you make of it. You get what you put in. So if you're putting in negativity, you're going to get negativity. If you're putting in positivity, you're going to get positivity. If you're putting in laughter and humor and fun, you're going to get laughter, humor, and fun. If you're putting in sorrow and disdain and what's the point of it all, that's what you're going to get out of it, right? So, but you got to ask yourself, what do you value more with that moon in Taurus? What do you value more? So let's go ahead and hop into the cards, see what we got going on. All right, let's see what we got for this Wednesday. I have the card of Temperance. I love this. This is about patience. This is about alchemy. This is about taking a situation and making it what it is. Making what you need to make of it, right? So it's like if life is giving you lemons, make lemonade. Or maybe you make something else. Maybe you make a lemon cake or some lemon meringue, Maybe you make some lemon gelato. Or you could take the lemons and squeeze it in your eyes. I know that seems like a very absurd, but that's what some people do. Some people, life will give them lemons, and they just squeeze the lemons directly into their eye, and they can't see for a while. But you can make all kinds of things with this. You're not just limited to lemonade either. You can make that lemon meringue, some lemon gelato. But it's about taking what life throws at you and making something of it. No matter how the energy is presenting itself, no matter how it looks and stuff like that, it's about making the best out of the situations. That's going to do it for your daily astrology horoscope. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey this Wednesday. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, if you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. But as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful hump day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace. I had to do the peace. Peace.